welcome to this technical drawing class. As you can see, that figure at the right corner of the screen, a line problem question, right? So the first thing I say you should do is to what? Find for the dimension, which is what? That it is 70. As you can see, 70. So without wasting much of our time, let's establish that 70 of a square. So I have my square this way, right? I draw my horizontal line from this point here, such that I will measure out what? 70. So from this point here, let me just these are starting points, right? From this point here to somewhere here is 70. Automatically, half of 70 is what? 35. So 35 at this point. So taking this 2, yes, taking this 2. Next up, I will, with the help of my T-square and set square, I will draw a vertical line at each edge this way, up this way. Next up, at this point, up this way, right? So similarly, I will take my compass. I will measure from this point to get to this point, right? Then I will come to this point here, strike an arc. Come to the other point here, strike an arc this way. So perhaps I will take it again and measure from this point here to this point is 35, as we did for the half. So just strike at this point here and strike this point here so that we can see it very well. I have this. Now next up, I will take my T-square this way and draw a horizontal line. Let me show you. Or just take my little row, yes, to avoid waste of time. Little row this way, connect it this way, right? From this point to this point, connect it, and similarly from this point to this point, I will connect it. So I have this square, as you can see. That is what we are having at the right corner of the screen, right? Next up, what I will do is that at this center point, I will draw what? A vertical line. Yes, a vertical line. Such that the vertical line is just what? A long line, short line, long line, short line. So at this point this way, draw a long line, short line, long line, short line, long line, short line, right? Similarly, I'll do that to the other part too. I will have what? A long line, short line, right? So long line, short line, long line, short line, long line, short line, long line. Let me just make sure this part here is sticking as we did here. Just sticking it some parts. Long line, short line, right? Long line, then short line, right? Long line, short line, long line. So I have this, as you can see, as we're having a right corner of the screen. Next up, at this is my center point, right? At each point, I'll take my compass at this point to this point here, this center point, right? I will draw arc this way, 1, right? Come to this point here, I take it, this is 2, right? Come to this point here, I take it, this is, sorry, come in, sorry. Now come to this point here, I take it this way, right? And lastly, come up to this point here, right? At this point, I have it this way. So having done this, the next task to do is to what? Connect some parts together. I will connect this part, this point here, and that point together this way, the thick line. Next up, I'll connect this point and this point here with a thick line this way, right? So automatically connect this point and this point with a thick line, and connect this point and this point here with a thick line, please. So make sure it's not coming out, please. Make sure they are not coming out. So let me just do it very well. I have this, right, and I have this. So haven't done this, the next task here is to take my meter rule, connect this point to this point such that it must not touch this. Take it this way, one, right, or this point here to this point, take it this way such that it will not touch that arc you have done. Next up, at this point to this point and this point, as you can see, I will take them this way and this way. I have this. Next up, I close this last part up, this point and this point, thick line, this point and this point this way. I have this. So having done this, the next thing to do now is to take. Next up, this is what I was using before. So I bring out this 45 degree. I'll place at this point this way. I will, instead of using my meter rule, I'll just use my 45 degree, right? I have this, right? Here's the concept here. Take it this way. So establish it like this way, this way. As you can see, the arrow indicating of 30 watts. 30 is 30. So I measure half of 30 is given to me what? Half of 30 is what? 15. I measure 15 from this point here to this point is 15, right? So at that point, I take it this way, strike an arc here, strike an arc at that line, establish it. So next up, take my 45 degree. I'm taking this part like this, taking it, right? Next up, I'll taking this part here, coming. So I'll taking this part here too, coming. Since I've taken this part, I will take this part too, right? I will close it up this way, right? Next up, I will come to this part, also close this part up, right? Close this part up. Similarly, I will close the other part up too. I can just use my meter rule to just join them together this way, and I have what you are seeing at the right corner of the screen to be this. Now let's start our dimensioning. I take my vertical line upward this way. So from this point here to this point here, I have what? 70, right? 70, right? Next up, there's an arc, there's a line coming through from this point, faint line, please. From this point here to this point, please. Faint line, just indicate an arrow where this is what your R radius, right? So next up, I can just take my 45 degree to just make sure to just indicate this that is what is going to be what 30. Here is what the dimension is going to be what 30. So we have successfully what dimension what you are seeing at the right corner of the screen. So if you found this video helpful, kindly click on the subscription button and also like. You are welcome to Wise Link Academy.